Good day, St. Maarten. I'm Yesenia Lazaro.
And I'm also Lawrence.
And welcome to another edition of St. Maarten News Desk.
Brought to you by TV15.
Where we bring you the latest and most important stories around the island and beyond.
It's Wednesday. Let's check out these top headlines.
Mercelina reaffirms EOC as top priority. The Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Luc Mercelina has reaffirmed the Emergency Operations Center as one of the government's top priorities during a high-level meeting with World Bank leadership on Tuesday, September 23rd. The session, chaired by Ayat Solomon, Director of Strategy and Operations for Latin America and the Caribbean, included senior officials from St. Maarten, the Netherlands, and the World Bank. Dr. Mercelina stressed that completing the EOC is vital for disaster preparedness and resilience, calling it a promise to safeguard the country's future. He noted that St. Maarten has faced some of the region's most severe climate-related shocks, underscoring the urgency of the project. The Prime Minister added that the EOC is part of a broader package of initiatives aimed at strengthening the island's resilience and development. The meeting concluded with commitments to accelerate collaboration and advance the pending projects.
Urvin Nuto Wawoe sentenced to life in prison. Urvin Nuto Wawoe, long suspected of being a leader of the No Limit Soldiers gang, has been sentenced to life in prison by the court of first instance. The ruling was handed down Tuesday, 3 months after his trial on charges that included ordering multiple murders, drug trafficking, money laundering, and gang leadership. Wawoe was found guilty of leading a criminal organization, drug trafficking, and several murders. The court ruled he was behind the killings of Kevin Bones Maturo in French Cul-de-Sac in 2016 and A.R.L. Nino Brown Tuit in Sutter Garden in 2017. He was also convicted for attempted murders in French Quarter and Phillipsburg. Prosecutors argued that these attacks were revenge for the 2015 murder of Wawoe's girlfriend, Latoya Nuta Flanders. The case was built on secretly recorded prison conversations and data from encrypted messaging systems. However, Wawoe was acquitted of involvement in the deadly 2014 Hato airport shooting in Curaçao and the 2016 killing of Omar Jones in Point Blanche prison. The life sentence is the harshest penalty in the Dutch system. Wawoe has 2 weeks to appeal the verdict before the Joint Court of Justice.
High security trial opens for Kathron, Cuchi, Fortune. The high security trial of Kathron, Cuchi, Fortune, one of the Caribbean's most notorious criminals, began Monday in Basse-Terre, Guadeloupe. Fortune, 47, is described by authorities as extremely dangerous and is facing charges for multiple violent crimes committed in St. Maarten. This week, the court is examining the 2005 and 2006 killings of Jamal Maynard and Gilbert Hyman, whose bodies were never found. Next week, the focus will shift to the rape and murder of 30-year-old Angelique Xavier in 2006. Security around the courthouse has been tightened to unprecedented levels, with scanners, restricted access, and Fortune escorted by heavily armed officers. Even his lawyer was accompanied by a bodyguard. Investigators have linked Fortune to a pattern of violent revenge attacks, but witnesses may be reluctant to testify due to fear of reprisals. In court, Fortune, who only speaks English, communicating only through an interpreter, and has pleaded not guilty. He will remain in Guadeloupe for at least 2 weeks after the verdict to allow for appeals before returning to the Netherlands, where he is already serving a life sentence. When it comes to managing the central bank, who really holds the power to nominate its leaders? We'll take a look at the finance minister's latest explanation after this break.
A new day begins. The sun rises over St. Maarten, bringing new energy, new possibilities. This island was built on resilience, progress, and the strength of its people. Our connection is what moves us forward. It links our communities, our businesses, our families. From the heart of the island to the shores beyond, we've connected St. Maarten. From every street to every home, this network was built for St. Maarten by St. Maarten hands. Connection isn't just about signals, it's about people. This is your island and your network recharged. Proudly local, we're here for today, tomorrow, and every milestone ahead.
With a Sunshine Report, straight out of Sunshine City, St. Maarten, bringing you the warmth and the sunshine you need to kickstart your day. So let's dive into the forecast and see how the skies are treating us. The Met Department of St. Maarten is keeping a sharp eye on the Atlantic, ready to update you with the latest. So don't forget to follow NEWSDESK on Facebook for your daily Sunshine Report. So as you enjoy your week, stay safe, stay friendly, Sunshine City.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to remember to help keep you and your family safe. If you're not in an area that is advised to evacuate and you decide to stay in your home, plan for adequate supplies in case you lose power and water for several days and you're not able to leave due to flooding or blocked roads. This hurricane season, make a family emergency communication plan. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Maarten. The Ministry of Wawoe, Department of Infrastructure Management, together with the Police Department KPSM, is making changes to traffic on a section of Candegita Street and Manzanella Steak, Phillipsburg. The Candegita Street from the intersection with Percy LaBega Street to Manzanella Steak will now be a one-way street. Inbound traffic can enter Candegita Street from Percy LaBega Street and drive straight ahead or turn left into Manzanella Steak. Outbound traffic leaving town on Candegita Street must make a right turn onto Manzanella Steak. Entry further into the Candegita Street will no longer be permitted. Outbound traffic exiting Manzanella Steak onto Walton Nisbet Road can either make a right or left-hand turn. The Ministry of Wawoe, Department of Infrastructure Management, and the Police Department would like to thank the public for their attention to this change. Please follow the new traffic rules and signage and drive safely.
Analyst warns of terminal patient risk in Code 3 emergencies. Certified risk analyst Terence Yandroop has issued a public statement highlighting a critical vulnerability in the healthcare system: the treatment of terminally ill patients during Code 3 emergency responses. In medical terms, a Code 3 signals an immediate, aggressive emergency intervention, often involving lights and sirens. For terminal patients, however, this can conflict with advanced directives or do not resuscitate orders, potentially resulting in interventions that cause harm rather than comfort. Jan Droop stresses the importance of honoring patient autonomy, prioritizing palliative and comfort care, and ensuring clear communication between healthcare providers, patients, and families. He underscores that the attending physician must balance clinical assessment, ethical considerations, and pain management while respecting the patient's wishes. The analyst calls on healthcare institutions and governing bodies to implement stronger protocols, staff training, and governance measures to safeguard terminal patients. The aim is a patient-centered approach that respects dignity, reduces risk, and ensures compassionate care at life's end.
SSSD to host bullying awareness session for parents. The Student Support Services Division of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport will hold an information session this Wednesday, September 24th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the University of St. Maarten. The session is titled The Bully, the Bullied, and the Bystander, How Parents Can Support Their Children. It aims to equip parents, caregivers, and educators with tools to better recognize and address bullying. Attendees will learn practical strategies for spotting warning signs, guiding children who may be bullied, those who bully others, or those who witness incidents. The session will also highlight ways to build empathy and resilience at home and in the wider community. The event is free and open to the public, and all interested individuals are encouraged to attend. For more information, contact Student Support Services Division at 543-1235 or email them at studentsupportservices@stmartingov.org.
Where Culture Lives project moves into next phase. The Where Culture Lives project has entered a new phase. Following months of focus group discussions held across Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, Statia, St. Maarten, and Saba from June through September, more than 100 cultural practitioners, educators, policymakers, and community members shared their views on the challenges and future of arts, heritage, and creative expression in the Dutch Caribbean. A team of island coordinators played a key role in this work, including Dr. Gregory Richardson in Aruba, Lara Chirino in Bonaire, Elton Villarreal in Curacao, Sharifa Balfour in Saba, Paula Pant-Pompier in Statia, and Ludmila Duncan in St. Maarten. This week, the University of St. Maarten also joined the effort with consultant Ashena Nisbet preparing for the next stage. With focus groups now complete, the project will launch a public survey in October, inviting residents across the 6 islands to share their cultural practices and experiences. Surveys will be available both digitally and on paper and will cover topics such as arts education in schools and community participation in cultural activities. Researchers say this survey is the most crucial step yet, laying the groundwork for the first comprehensive cultural mapping of the Dutch Caribbean. The findings aim to guide policy, strengthen support for artists, and ensure that local voices and traditions remain at the center of future cultural development. Politics, process, and the central bank. St. Maarten's finance minister responds to critics. That's our featured story. Next.
Let's put everything on the table. People always give their opinion, and you can either take it or crunch it. Let them judge. We give in to the most irresistible flavor. We devour every nugget that falls in our hands, especially when it's our crunchy fried chicken. And let the crumbs fly if needed. Let them keep judging. We'll keep indulging. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You could talk to your family, talk to your friends. Affordability and convenience. Community connection, that makes sense. Reliability with experience. Hey, for every love, every adventure. #1 provider, they got ya. We tell them your data is always on. You can opt out whenever you want. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to roll. Control my data, yeah, yeah, yeah. Always connected every time, everywhere. Money low, but I never fair. I know, tell them it's there. Connectivity, that's what I like. Flexibility, that's what I like. Reliability, that's what I like. Tell them sign me up for life. Tell them we always
What did you do?
Guess what? I got an idea. It's amazing. You see how we have the link sharing all everywhere?
QR link,
the
yeah.
QR link?
Yeah.
Raw Caribbean Channel app. Yeah. You're welcome. Put it in the back.
But it's not an app though. It's not an app. App, you have to like download something to get it on your phone, take up space. It's not an app.
It's like an app. Therefore, it can be an app. So, it's an app. Raw Caribbean TV app. Say it with me, Al. Come on.
It's not an app though. All you gotta do with that, it's a link. You take the link, you hit the bookmark, you say add to home screen, and so it shows up like an app icon, but it's not an app though.
Are you a real person? It is an app because you get to watch all the programs from Raw Caribbean at one place. It is an app.
I don't know how to explain this to you, but factually and technically, it's not an app. Kind of like we do the news, facts,
Yeah.
and you do that thing you do.
Whoa.
Point being, you just go to the QR, you hit bookmarks, and you hit add to home screen, and then you can have the link to, let's give it another name.
The app.
You want to call it the app?
Raw Caribbean TV app.
Jess.
Yes.
Jess, please, give some sense, Jess. Jess.
It's kind of like an app.
That's why she gets the big bucks.
It's not an app, though. It's not a f***ing app. What the f***? It's not a f***ing app.
You kiss your mother with her mouth? My God. Watch Raw Caribbean TV app.
Watch Raw Caribbean TV app.
Yes.
It's not an app, though.
The Central Bank of Curaçao and St. Maarten, or CBCS, plays a critical role in safeguarding our region's financial stability. But recent debate in Parliament has raised questions about how its leadership is chosen and who has the authority to nominate candidates. Today we take a closer look at the process, the politics, and the minister's official response.
Taking over from Jess, it began during question hour in Parliament, where opposition MPs challenged the Minister of Finance on her role in nominating a new member to the CBCS Supervisory Board. Some MPs suggested the process lacked transparency, while others implied that politics, not policy, was shaping the decision. The central bank itself later issued a statement clarifying that appointments to the supervisory board follow a structured procedure. According to the CBCS, names can only move forward through strict legal guidelines, with the Kingdom Council of Ministers holding the final say. Still, the scrutiny intensified. Critics argued that St. Maarten's voice could be weakened if the nomination process was mishandled or appeared politically motivated. Finance Minister the Honorable Marinka J. Gums responded with an official release, pushing back against claims of disorder. She explained that the Ministry of Finance had followed due process and reminded Parliament that St. Maarten, as a shareholder in the central bank, has both the right and the responsibility to put forward qualified candidates. The minister called it ironic that some of the sharpest criticisms were coming from MPs who themselves had been in government and knew firsthand how the procedure works. She emphasized that her priority was to safeguard St. Maarten's influence within the CBCS while ensuring appointments reflect professional integrity, not political favor. Observers note that the dispute highlights a broader tension, balancing political oversight with the independence of financial institutions. The CBCS, like central banks worldwide, must be insulated from day-to-day politics to maintain credibility and investor confidence. Yet, the process inevitably involves elected officials, raising the question, where should politics end and policy begin? As the debate continues, Minister Gums has pledged more transparency in future updates, saying she will keep Parliament and the public informed of each step in the nomination process. Back to you, Jess.
Thanks, Alston. So, is St. Maarten's Finance Ministry following the rules in nominating a central bank leader? Or is it politics muddying the waters? That's the question now facing both Parliament and the public. One thing is certain, with the central bank steering the region's economy through uncertain times, its leadership will remain under the microscope. That's all the time we have for today's edition of St. Maarten News Desk.
Thank you for joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every weekday morning at 8 a.m. on TV 15 and then across other social media platforms. I'm Austin Oates.
And I'm Yesenia Lassero, wishing you an amazing evening. See you tomorrow.
Stay friendly, St. Maarten.